Everybody, my name's Kaylee and I am on the Denver Destiny team. I am on the call with Ruby, who is on the New York Yeats, and we're going to go over our day 2 activity for our challenge for writing a script.
Yes, welcome back, everybody. Ruby here. So, just to go over what we've already done, we're now working on our cause venture in the middle of the 14-day script writing challenge.
Yep, so we're just going to dive right into what we did today. If you haven't seen the other ones, you should probably check it out first. But basically, we're just using like an app idea that we already came up with, the universal needs inventory, where we kind of go over like what you value most and what kind of activities would fulfill that. And then we're using this challenge to learn how to write a like very productive pitch and type of ad.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So today's video was about getting to know your customer. Kaylee, what was something that you learned from the video?
I thought the video was really neat because it showed that, like, so our activity for today is to go over reviews that you have for your product or for other products. And they actually used a lot of competitor products to show, like, in their ads how they meet a need that wasn't met by other products and how they stand out. And I thought that was really clever instead of just addressing reviews of their own product.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought that was a good way you can maybe find some like holes you could fill in the market.
Yeah. So I'm going to dive in. I'm going to go ahead and read this first page of the activity so y'all can see what we're doing, and then we're going to go over what we did for our activity. All right. So, like I said, we're just finding the first 100 reviews on our product, and then we didn't have 100 reviews because ours is just a prototype. So we actually looked at reviews for similar products. We did other types of apps that were kind of similar, and you'll see we broke it down into different categories. And then we kind of looked on different platforms. We mostly looked in the App Store since it is an app. And we just took note of those repeated phrases and concepts that people kept mentioning. And in our frequency column, which you can see on this example here, we noted how many times we saw that. And so that would help us kind of see like what needs to be met. And then we just made a Google Sheet with all of that and sorted it so we were able to see what was most common. So this is our sheet that we came up with. Ruby, do you want to go over the ones that you did first?
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of split it into quarters because our app has a bunch of different functions that we wanted to address with the reviews. One of that being we wanted to include a calendar. So I looked up specifically the Fantastical Calendar and Tasks app. Just pulled up a bunch of reviews. I feel like it had generally like a pretty high star rating, but I was able to find both negative and positive ones, which I think is super helpful. Should I get like specific? Should I read some of these out? How like deep do you want to get into this?
I think that we're just gonna look at the main ones here. I'm gonna sort these really quick so everybody can kind of see what was like most common. Ooh. So y'all can see how we're sorting it as well, which is neat.
Yes, yes.
So we're just gonna sort based on the frequency, and that gives us like the idea of what occurred the most, like what you saw the most.
Oh yes, there we go. So programming issues. Yeah, I noticed throughout even the positive and the negative reviews, they would note like maybe different bugs that kept popping up for users. But the second one is positive. It's amazing integration. So they were able to use the event calendar across all of their like emails, Google Calendar, Outlook, stuff like that. So people, thought it was helpful for both work and their personal life.
Great, and then we'll go over the other one. The next category that we created, I'm going to sort that one as well.
Yes, yeah. So the other aspect that we wanted to incorporate into our app is journaling. So I went to it's called Day One. It was the journal app that's whose reviews I looked at. It looks like the highest is also a negative for this. It says they hated the subscription. Again, that was pretty true across the board. Whether or not they gave the app high stars, people, would much rather pay like a one-time fee and then just have access to all of the bells and whistles. But the second one says long-time user. So in tons of these reviews, I also noticed that, people would be like, oh, I've used this app for 10 plus years. I've been using it, for at least 6 months now. I love it. So that's definitely positive.
I think it's funny that the first one is that everybody hates the subscription, and then the third one is worth the money.
Yeah, I definitely saw it. Sometimes, like back to back, people would absolutely love. There's also like lots of features, but then somewhere down, someone was like, "No, there are too many features. It's overwhelming." So,
yeah,
some of that is just personal preference too.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those kind of things too. So for the third category, I did like an event near me because we are trying to suggest events that would meet those needs that you have. And I kind of went across a variety of apps. So I thought of like Eventbrite, Ticketmaster, StubHub, like those kind of things. And for me, the one that I saw the most was the needing like better customer service. A lot of people were saying they weren't responding fast enough or like they wouldn't respond at all, things like that. And so that's very important. And then also like a lot of people were saying that like there was problems with the functionality. Like you couldn't like people weren't getting their tickets and like there was just problems with like the app closing out and things like that. So also like you said with the first one, there were a lot of little bugs. So those were like my top two.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I thought this one was neat because I hadn't considered it for our prototype, but I really like it. A lot of people suggested that if you're not interested in an event, you should be able to remove it from your list so it doesn't keep showing you things like that. And I thought that was kind of neat.
Oh, I like that too, and I saw that as well. I forget which app, but one of them, there's like an option to turn off the functions you don't use or don't want. So that's kind of similar. It's more people like to customize it, I guess.
Yeah, and that kind of plays into. I saw a lot of people saying there were like too many notifications with apps, so I think that all kind of goes hand in hand, with just being able to like see what you want to see, but not be overwhelmed with what you don't.
Exactly right.
And so for our last category, it kind of feeds into the event near me idea. It's also the activity. So we're trying to give both things that you can do in your area or things you can do like at home, like a DIY project. So I looked at things like Pinterest, DIY.org, and Home Talk because those are all things that give you ideas that you can like do at home or like go out in nature and do things. The number one thing I saw on those was everybody loved that it was so easy to find and share great ideas, like things that they never would have thought of. But also after that there were so many updates that every time like a feature would come out that somebody liked, they would change it again, and so there was just like a lot of complaints about like no one listening to the reviews and continuously updating it.
Interesting.
And then of course there's the problems with the functionality again.
Yeah, I saw some of that too.
Mm-hmm. So we are going to be able to use this kind of stuff to gear towards our customer market. It's going to give us a good idea of what people are looking for, what kind of need needs to be met, and how our app could just like overall stand out whenever we are continuing to make our script. And for tomorrow, we're going to do a quick 20-second little spiel and like get ideas of how we feel like it went, what we can improve with, how other people interpreted it, and we'll be recording that in the next couple of days and releasing that if you guys want to check that out.
Yes, definitely. Be sure to come back to see how our script is coming.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.